Welcome to U.S. Crime Center's Bloodhound app for law enforcement. Today, we are showing the patrol mode mapping solution which provides information to officers relative to each address in a given area. The Bloodhound utilizes a threat level assessment strategy using all data available to the agency and also data accessible through other web pages and APIs. When a blue-colored icon appears on a residence, that indicates no known threat level and may include such data as voter registrations, utility registration, motor vehicle registrations, etc. When an orange-colored icon appears on a residence, that indicates there has been some interaction with law enforcement or a government entity, such as traffic citations, revoked driver's license, pawn records, etc. A red-colored icon on a residence indicates a threat level for an officer. It may contain items that relate to previous arrest at that location, sex offenders, gangsters, warrants, etc. If a residence contains more than one red threat level, the icon should display a red lightning bolt. This allows the officer to be able to make a quick assessment of the residence and know that this particular residence will be more dangerous than those that do not have the lightning bolt icon. The Bloodhound allows the officers to drill down into all of this data, and we have additionally added contact information on many of the items, such as an accordion control for each warrant charge which displays the contact information for the warrant squad of the sheriff's office for warrants and links to other contacts for other items. Let's review several of the items that are possible to display to the officers. In a situation like this, if the officer isn't familiar with the address, they should take time to go through and familiarize themselves with the items that apply, including any notes that have been annotated to the address. Here we see a note from another officer regarding being cautious when handling calls at this location. Another officer can also annotate the address with more information, which can include just text, images, videos, and even voice recordings. In this instance, the officer is just leaving a quick note that will be automatically archived 1 year from the date it was entered. Let's take a look at another example. This is the Memphis Union Mission at 383 Poplar and is a known location where many of the occupants have warrants or are sex offenders. The ministry works with the sheriff's office too, and that has benefited the ministry and their work. Here we are simply picking a few of the warrants and basically verifying that they are valid. Checking this warrant to ensure it is still valid and possibly match the mugshot with the person who is being investigated shows the officer whether they are looking at the correct person or not. Additionally, having the phone number and link to the sheriff's website makes this an easy task. While that is not the only location for multiple warrants, we can see across the street where there are sex offenders and warrants as well. If the officer needs to contact someone at the Tennessee Sex Offender Registry, the embedded contact information will show in the drop-down for the agency. This particular person is a one-man crime spree. As you can see, he has numerous charges over the years ranging from misdemeanors to felonies. As we scroll through looking at all the charges, you can see that he needs to be located and tracked. The Bloodhound has all the tools an officer needs as far as locating criminals. The red lightning bolts should alert the officers as to hotspot locations and enable them to combat the crime at that location and the surrounding area. Sex offenders are the hardest group of criminals to rehabilitate, so there is a great need for a tool such as Bloodhound to assist in keeping track of them. Now, let's take a look at the Bloodhound's research capabilities. The accordion control for the research tools appears directly below each of the accordion controls for the alerts. Clicking on the research button expands the control and shows you the different tools. The first tool is a link to the assessor's website which will research the current address and give you the information as to who the owner of the property is, the assessed value of the property, improvements that have been made, permits that have been pulled, the history of the owner since the property was built, and another interesting piece of information, a sketch of the building. Now, let's go back to our research screen and dig a little deeper. An officer might find it useful to search for particular crimes that have been occurring in close proximity to a given address. Bloodhound allows the officer to select the radius of the search from the currently selected address out to 2 miles and allowing selections that increment by 1/4 mile from the base of 1/4 mile out to 2 miles. A map will be displayed after the date range is selected and information regarding as to whether the officer wants to see all warrants that are in the selection area or only the warrants that are in the selection area and were issued within the date range. Bloodhound provides the officer with access to the master name index, which contains information on every person who is in the system. That can include multiple alias names, addresses, phone numbers, and other information. Given that so much information is collected on the internet, we feel it is a good idea to provide a one-button click for a Google search for any particular person. In most areas, Google has captured photos and made them available to the public. Here, once again, we have a one-button click that delivers the information. We also utilize Google's driving directions information so an officer can determine the fastest route from their location to this address. The legend at the bottom of the map shows new users what each icon on the patrol map indicates. Let's take a look at the Bloodhound in night mode. The contrast works well with our icons. Night mode is available so officers don't get lit up when viewing the screen at night. Let's look at the added feature of real estate search, which gives an officer a deeper dive into the selected address. Many times a real estate ad includes pictures of the rooms inside the home or apartment. That could be very good information for an officer, so they can know how the furniture is arranged, or at least see the contents of the property. To learn more, contact us at uscrimecenters.com.